Hey, Christian here, founder of Second Life Coaching and host of the Hot Mess Express podcast. And welcome to video number 4 in the Estranged series. And we're going to talk tonight a little bit about the silent treatment. Now, the silent treatment is one of the most potent and most damaging weapons that can be used in estranged relationships. It's essentially burying the other person, cutting them off, pretending they're dead, and forcing them to, kind of accept the fact that, come to the realization that you no longer hold value in their life, and that's a difficult thing to do. Wars, especially familial wars, are not only fought with tanks and missiles and bombs; they're also fought with words. And the silent treatment is probably the A bomb of all the word wars, the way you can fight things in relationships. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can deal with this. Number one is just simply accept it and move on. Number two is to continually try to appease the silencer, to almost like grovel at their feet, but that becomes a power play, and that's dangerous because then they know they've got you and they can extort whatever they want out of you, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially even, in those cases. And that just becomes kind of a codependent bunch of crap, and you don't really want that. Or number three, you could do what I call the tossing out the olive branch, remembering birthdays and anniversaries and special days, and sending cards or the occasional text, or just kind of doing things to kind of throw it out there to go, hey, I still want to be, I still want to have a relationship with you. We're still family. We still, we're kind of what we've got. But the thing is the silencers made their decision. They've decided that you don't have any value, and they're done with you. Whether it's, from something you did, outside influences on them from friends or other family, it's just the decision they've made. And everybody is free to make their own decision, even dumbass decisions like that. Now, I want you to know that we're not talking about silent treatment and estrangement from abusive relationships. That's a whole different ball of wax. That is something that will be covered in future videos. This is in me kind of pissed off, angry, storming out, stubborn bullshit nonsense, non-abuse related, non-drug related, non-addiction related. So I just wanted to get that out there. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. It's their decision, and everybody's free to make decisions, even dumbass decisions like this one. Now, in any relationship, there's always enough responsibility for the fracture of the relationship to go around. All parties have something to do with it. All parties bear responsibility. It's not always equal. However, it's rarely, if ever, one-sided. So the thing you got to do before you take any further action is to apologize, to attempt to make amends, and hopefully, there's enough love and desire to continue the relationship that somehow it can be mended, and you can kind of go on and start rebuilding the foundation that's been cracked. However, if you do that and the other person has no desire, who still cuts you out, who still silences you, then what you got to do is accept it, move on, and most of all, quit chasing them. Stop chasing them. They've cut you off. You're no longer a part of their life, and stop, for God's sakes, leave them alone. You no longer exist to them. It's just the way it works. And you have to come to a place where you can accept that. And as parents, that can be extraordinarily difficult to do. Stop pretending that you hold value for them. Stop pretending that you exist to them, because you just don't. They've made the decision to pretend that you don't exist, so let them live in their little illusion and go on. Because here's the thing. Why in God's name would you want to chase after somebody who doesn't want you? We've all had those relationships growing up. first loves, unrequited loves. Remember, junior high, high school, those things where we really, really thought we were in love with somebody and they really didn't want to have anything to do with them. And we chased them and thought maybe if we just wore them down enough, or maybe if they just could see us in a different light, then things would be different. Well, this is exactly the same thing. And let me ask you, how did those turn out? Nothing but heartache, right? So you got to stop chasing them. And as parents or as children who are, as family members who are estranged from each other, if you were on the receiving end of the silent treatment, that is a damn difficult thing to do, because they're your blood and they're your heart and you love them very, very much. To be completely shut off and completely cut out, particularly when you're not entirely sure why, is hard to do. But you know what? You've got a life to live. And as I've said on the podcast, the most selfish thing you can do on this planet is to keep your gifts and your talents and your expertise and your story to yourself. Because there's other people out there who are going through the same shit you are, who need to hear your story, who need to know that they're not alone. For example, just by my own, I finally found a community of people who were estranged from their adult children, and I joined up with them today. And I look forward to being in community with other people who know this story, who've been through it, who are in different places and have a different perspective, and perhaps can help me heal in areas where I haven't quite figured out how to do that yet. So, when it comes to the silent treatment, here's the best advice I can give you. Number one, reach out, apologize, see if there's a chance for reconciliation. If not, accept it, move on. Two, don't be afraid to extend the olive branch from time to time, because you never know. Time does, I'm not even going to say it because I can't stand that phrase, but with time comes wisdom and perspective. And perhaps in time, those that are giving you the silent treatment realize that maybe it wasn't as bad as they thought it was, and maybe they did overreact by a large amount. And as long as you toss out the olive branch, now understand, without expectation of anything in return, that's the difficult part. Just to kind of let them know that you're still there. Don't be afraid to do that. Toss it out. Like a birthday something, send a card, put it in the mail, and just let it go. And if the answer comes back, great. If not, great. But don't forget, accept, move on, live your life, find new friends, find a new hobby, do things that you enjoy. Live your life and bring yourself joy. Don't sit around moping and being sad. Go through the grieving process, sure, and everybody can visit there, but don't live there. It's not a healthy place to be. Not for you, not for your if you're married, not for your marriage, not for your relationships with other children that you may have. Because you know what, you can't let one relationship with one or more of your children ruin them for all of them. So that's going to be it for tonight. A little rambly, but I hope that made sense. If you're in a similar situation, if you've been given the silent treatment by your parents or by your children, let me know in the comments. Let's get in community. Let's work together and let's heal together. So until next time, peace out.